Back to our top story now. Trump's pause on trade negotiations with Canada. With me now is Michael Fauntroy, political analyst. Michael, welcome and thank you for being here.
It's my pleasure. Good to be back with you.
Now, President Trump, in that Fox interview that aired today, repeated that trade talks are on hold until Canada drops certain taxes, and even, once again, called for Canada to become the 51st state. Why do you think Trump is combining trade threats with calls to annex Canada?
It's difficult to be sure, but I think he seems to be stuck in a rhetorical loop that he can't get out of. You know, no one takes seriously here in the United States his talk about the 51st state. He's not really up to the job, at least to this point, of managing the 50 states that are in the union. So adding to that doesn't make a lot of sense. But he does seem to be using it as a form of leverage, or hoping that it could be used as leverage to get what he perceives to be a better deal for the United States with regard to all of the tariffs and mineral rights and all the other kinds of negotiations that have historically taken place between the U.S. and Canada. It's a new tactic. It's one that most observers in the United States don't think will be very effective, but it is the card that he's trying to play right now.
You're right. He's blaming the digital services tax for the pause, also mentioning, including in that interview, Canada's supply management program. These, these are, you've said, negotiating tools. Will they work, do you think?
I think they'll work if, for lack of a better phrase, Canada doesn't continue to stand strong. I think to this point, I think it's been pretty clear that the nation of Canada has resisted a lot of this. And I think as long as that continues, the president of the United States will ultimately run out of time. This is entirely unnecessary. You know, border countries always have negotiations back and forth over things that pop up over time, sort of acute issues. But things that have been continuous are those that are continuously worked on as needs arise. It appears here that he seems to be starting a new path, but I don't know that the American people are paying as close attention to it as he seems to want. And for that reason, I think it's going to be difficult for him to muster the public will and the public interest and public support for his plans.
So what should Canada's next move be? Do we get rid of the digital services tax?
So far be it from me to sort of tell Canadians what they should do. I do think that, all of these various taxes can be shaped and reshaped in a way that on balance comes out about even. I think that middle ground reminiscent of what we had before 2025 started is where we need to be. And it's my hope that we'll get there and that cooler heads will prevail. But again, if the president faces very strict and firm resistance, I think ultimately he'll back down.
I'm sure a lot of people also hoping that as well. Michael, we'll have to leave it there. Thank you very much for your time. As always, that is Michael Fauntroy, political analyst.